Shit. This is what I'm feeling like. Da, 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 da. Let me tell you what I'm feeling like. Da, 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 da. Yo, what up, though, people? Like to welcome you back to the Keep It a C Note podcast. As always, I am your boy Bryant. To the left of me, we got
Your boy John.
And to the left of John, we got
Vito Samuels.
Okay, Vito Samuels, shout out to that. Everybody is dapper Dan. We got the Eagles hat on, we got the San Fran gear on, and the call them Oouuber gear. Until further notice, until further notice, I'm going to fall back off the Rams gear. I might be mushing them paws, so I'm gonna fall back. Everybody that's on YouTube, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you're a regular, salute to you. Make sure you hit the like button, leave a comment. This your first time on the page. Salute to you as well. Please hit the sub button, hit the like button. Also hit the button so you can get notifications. You can help us call Ubers for Vito, things of that nature. And you can talk your talk. But we had a lot going on, especially in the city of Philadelphia on 10/6, on October 6th, I believe it was. Mayor McKinney, he apologized for experiments that they were running on black inmates from the 50s to the 70s in Holmesburg. The experiments they was running on people left some people scarred and stuff of that nature. So I just want to know what's your thoughts on it. Did y'all hear anything about it? Keep it a C note.
Well, I personally think that they should find each and every person that's still living, give them some type of reparations for experimenting on, because it's not the first time, and I don't believe it's going to be the last time.
Right. What's your thoughts on it, John? By the way, it was a UPenn researcher. His name was Dr. Albert Kligman.
I was going to say that. Yep, he was a UPenn researcher, but me, I would say, fuck it. Like, fuck that apology. You can shove it. I don't give a fuck about that shit. If you're not giving reparations to the family, what the fuck is the apology going to do? I mean, that don't mean nothing.
Now they're saying though in 2000, several of the inmates they moved to have like a lawsuit, and it was thrown out, basically statute of limitation. So I guess the people that's representing these people, whether it's family members and stuff like that, they like, all right, since they couldn't get no money or nothing, and we know it was done, we just want an apology.
See, and this ain't the first, and this ain't going to be the last either. And there's going to be a bunch of other places that are going to come to find out that they were doing some crazy-ass experiments on. I mean, it's not new. They had the Tuskegee experiments. I mean, this is just some shit that actually came to light, so...
Right.
But the worst part that I seen, the fact that they said after they experimented on these guys, they actually lost track of them. So they didn't know where they was at in the world. They could have been spread whatever y'all gave.
Exactly.
Right. Well, one thing I say about it is I seen it personally. When I was in a juvenile facility at 17 years old, I was at a joint called the Nationals, and all you had to do was tell them you couldn't sleep, and they put everybody on this one pill. And the thing about it was nobody would take the pill at night. We would take it during the daytime. So if we had 12 people in our class, 10 of us would sleep. And they're still giving all the kids the meds, and they knew we was on off of it. So I believe that was an experience. Once I seen that, that's why I stopped taking them Jones. And then when I did time as an adult, and I even told you a story, John, you get people that come in there just trying to take pills to get high and all that, and before you know it, they become lab rats. They don't know how to talk. They come out slow juiced up, like, you know what I mean?
But see, I blame the old institutions, like the ones that closed down. You had Penhurst, you had Byberry, and these were mental institutions where they fucked up and did some fucked up shit to these patients. And now we got a mental health crisis now, and now those type of institutions aren't around because they messed it up in the past, because these folks, they actually need somewhere to go, but they need the actual proper treatment. But
so let me ask y'all this, right? Your dad or your uncle was one of them inmates that was experimented on, right? you about 15 or 16, somebody's talking about your dad, making fun of his features and something, and you smoked him. And you got life in jail, and now you find out that they was running experiments on your dad. Shouldn't you be eligible to like get out or something? You see what I'm saying? Like that's that. So what I'm saying is you don't get no money from it, but it's done. It could have done more harm than anything. So we apologize. Like to me, that definitely is not good enough.
That's not good enough.
You know what I mean?
After the apology, yo.
But what's your thoughts on it, people? The city of Philadelphia, they were running experiments on black inmates in the 50s all the way through the 70s. They recently apologized for it. Is that acceptable? Keep it a C note with us. Vito, your guy, Draymond Green. Video surfaced. He punched on his teammate. He's recently apologized. He stepped away from the team for a while. Keep it a C note. What's your thoughts on it?
I love it.
You love it? And what part do you love?
All of it. If you ain't acting right, you get punched down. They always talk about how soft this era is, but they don't never mention how back in the day they used to fight each other in practice all the time. You don't have to love your teammate, Kobe and Shaq.
Right.
Other dudes fought. Mike used to grind niggas up all the time. So at the end of the day, no, we don't know what's going on, and sometimes the person you fight winds up becoming your best friend. So you never know what can come from this. That might make them a better bond. They might play harder together. He might ride for him a little harder.
Okay.
At the end of the day, this shit happens all the time. Disregard the sports. People get punched in their mouth all the time.
Right.
So we're not going to highlight it just because it's sports.
Okay. What you got, John?
I mean, I disagree. I hate that shit.
Why do you hate it?
Like he shouldn't have did that to the young boy like that, bro. Like that's your fucking teammate. That ain't some nigga like off the street that just like robbed your mama or something like that. Like you didn't even give my man a chance to like square up. Like this is your teammate.
But for the record, though, Poole did push him first, right?
A push, all right, but. There's a lot of pushing that goes on to the NBA.
So he was supposed to push him back? I'm just asking.
I mean, to that, he could have reacted, but it didn't have to go to like a knockout punch. He went straight Mike Tyson on that at that point.
He didn't like Poole, and that was the straw.
And it probably was.
Okay.
But I don't like that the videos was put out there because now I feel as though this bull is the next Chris Rock, basically, that got on camera to get hit, and now he's going to be the butt of jokes.
Man, that shit is.
But I do know it's part of sports, and yeah, the fight is going to happen. I didn't like that it got put out there. Fuck you, TMZ.
Listen, Nick Robinson got knocked the fuck out on national.
Yeah, but
everybody forgets about it.
He signed up for that. But what goes on behind teams practice, that should stay behind.
Shout out to that, John. I agree with that.
In the public, we shouldn't have known about that, and I'm mad that I got to find out about that shit because I knew how the internet was gonna run with that shit.
Who was in it that leaked it? Because you're right, it should have stayed in house.
Right. Well, for the record, just on a couple things that y'all just spoke on. First of all, Draymond said that he has been going through some personal things. It is speculation, though. Jordan Poole up for a contract extension. It is speculation that Draymond been hating on the young kid, don't want him to get his bag. I don't know if it got to do with taking away from Draymond bag. I don't know. But dumb are the speculations. I agree with y'all, Vito. Back in the day, we already know. I've heard Kwame Brown talk about stars, not stars, but old heads slapping dudes back in the day. The thing that's bad about it is when somebody leaked it. Now, I don't know because we do talk conspiracies. I don't know if this is a conspiracy so they can get Draymond out of there. Because that's the only way I can look at it. Like, why would anybody else leak the footage?
Trey Young said, he's like, Draymond trying to go to LA.
He trying to.
Yeah, I'm about to say, because that might be an experience for
and look,
get himself out of there.
Right, and I felt as though that was funny because all these years, and maybe I just wasn't paying Draymond Green no mind, but out of all these years he's been in the league, it's like all of a sudden this offseason he was real buddy with Bron. So when Trey said that, I seen that was funny. Another reason, not just was it wrong for the simple fact that they put it out there, but it's wrong like that because now you're going to have Everybody talking to Jordan Poole dirty. Nigga, I do you worse than him, this, that.
Exactly.
Not just that. Just think about how many times dudes is... Because we see these young pups, we seen them get aggressive with LeBron. So what about these next young pup that's going to be like, nigga, do that to me? And it's going to be all aggressive with Draymond. I just think that's too much. Draymond caused this confusion. Durant said that he left because of the way they handled the situation with him and Draymond. But Golden State wouldn't have had to handle that situation if Draymond wouldn't have been tweaking. I think it definitely is time for him to go. That's just my thoughts on it. Whether he go to L.A., you probably can't get nothing from L.A., but I think it's time for him to go.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. If I was the GM or whatever of Golden State, Draymond, he would have had a fine. He would have been out off the team for a while. I'm sorry. I would have made that an example.
How does that benefit Golden State?
I think Golden State, they handle them affairs too lightly, bro.
Listen.
How does that benefit Golden State if you take one of the leaders off the team?
Ain't no real leader.
Listen, time out.
Everybody on that team and everybody outside the team says he's the leader.
Okay, let me ask y'all this, though, because take away that 1 year, the year after Durant got hurt because he didn't play like that in Brooklyn. But every year after that, if they got rid of Draymond and not Durant, if they would have handled that, got rid of Durant, probably would have stayed. Them dudes, even if Clay missed that second year when he retoured, son, they still could have won the check.
Yeah.
They still. So when you look at it from a ownership standpoint, I'm like, Draymond, you got to go.
But what you fail to realize is, even without Kevin Durant, they still won another chip.
Yeah, I know that. But what I'm saying is they could have still been winning
but
chips.
Think about it. They still won another chip. And who's way cheaper? Draymond way cheaper than Kevin Durant.
Yeah, I understand. But I just still would have went with, I would have got rid of Durant years ago.
But listen, what happens if you get rid of Draymond and you know how Durant played? He could have got the fuck out of it on his own.
Yeah, but what made Durant feel some type of way with something Draymond did. So even if Golden State blew it out of proportion, didn't handle it the way they liked, the way Durant liked, if they would have got rid of Draymond, he might have still been cool. You see what I'm saying? It's like you handled it wrong and then you just hope that I stay. Like, nah, you feel though we handled it wrong, we gonna get rid of this joker. That's how I would have played it. What's your thoughts on it, though, people? Draymond punched on Jordan Poole. He's apologized. He's away from the team. Keep it a C-note. What's your thoughts on it? The boy, Kanye West, he's got a lot going on. He's been beefing with Diddy. He recently got banned from Instagram and Twitter. He's got we did that episode on the White Lives Matter shirt. Mm-hmm. He just had an interview on Fox News where a lot of people was upset about it. Keep it a C-note. What's your thoughts on Kanye West in the last week or two with everything that he has going on?
I don't agree with the White Lives Matter shirt, like with the Black Lives Matter shit going on. But I've noticed, like, when Kanye say whatever he say originally, motherfuckers go crazy.
Right.
But years later on down the line, some of that shit wound up making sense. And at the end of the day, social media is part of media. You have a right to freedom of speech. How can you ban this man for saying whatever it is he's saying when motherfuckers on Twitter, social media, any social media platform say nigga all day long, but don't nothing ever happen to them?
Yeah. Right, I agree with that. What's your thoughts on it, John? I'm very interested to hear what you got to say on that.
I don't think everything that Kanye West says is nonsense. I think like he has some his off times and he has a weird way of making a message, getting his delivery basically.
Right.
The White Lives Matter, I mean, all that, I think he's excessive, extreme type of bull when it comes to getting the message out. And either way, I think if you got kicked off or you're banned from social media, I look at that like you're on to something.
Right.
You're on to something. So for them to ban you, like, you're really on to something. Because I think, like, there's definitely some type of, like, thing that they got going on with the internet. So
Right.
whatever that they pushing, they got going on through the internet, and anything that interrupts that, they try to push you aside. And
Right.
and I hate that shit. That anytime you even just say something about a Jewish person, it's anti-Semitic. Like, how did they get this special word in racism? You know that shit always pisses me off. It does.
Right.
But he does have a point with that shit. And like that text with Diddy, that some bull probably did call Diddy like, yo, straighten that shit up. And Kanye probably was right. Like, but y'all probably think he's out of his mind. I don't walk a mile in that man's shoes, so I don't know what he's going through. I only take bits and parts from what he's saying, but I don't think it's all nonsense though, for real.
Okay, look, I said what you was gonna say was gonna be very interesting because I've already told Vito. Did you see the Fox interview?
Yeah, with him and Tucker Carlson.
Yes, yeah, shout out to that. I told Vito before we got on air. I said, Vito, I want to know what John got to say about this because if you take away the religious talk that Kanye is talking, everything that he said or has been saying is like stuff that John always talk about. When he said, what was he talking about? The Black Lives Matter. He wasn't calling them a puppet, but he was like the Black Lives Matter ambassador or something, where he was like basically these companies, they're just getting a popular black face and slapping them on it, and boom, that's that. With the White Lives Matter thing, I think Kanye, in a way, is a genius because we're in the era of trolling.
Mm-hmm. That is a perfect troll.
That's his indirect way of trolling. I'm going to say something or do something that's totally outlandish to have people attack me so that I can, that's my thoughts.
Well,
his
pop had ties with the Black Panthers, and you heard in that interview, like, his pop thought like his shirt was nothing but, I mean, it was funny, but it was just nothing but a black man telling the truth.
Right.
That's what his shirt was. I mean, like I said, he has extreme ways of showing his fashion or whatever, getting his message out. But, I mean, I sometimes hit and miss with Candace Owens. I don't always agree with her, but I don't know. They knew what they was getting themselves into when they did that. I'll tell you that much.
Right. One thing I will say, though, about the White Lives Matter thing, I've seen a couple posts where they posted it up. I think it may have been on YouTube or Instagram. But I've seen, like, you know how they put the disclaimer, like, false information? I've seen, wherever I was looking at, pages was getting flagged because they're saying that the White Lives Matter is basically a form of racism because it was started to combat Black Lives Matter.
Well, maybe he got some sneakers or some music coming out because, he is genius when it comes to publicity.
Right. Yeah, they even got rumors though that like people talking about pulling his music off the sites and all that.
That's a bit much. Come on.
But listen though, that's why I say he might be a genius because he's already experimented with the Donda thing where he sold you the stems and all of that, and he showed you like I seen a thing that was interesting right on Twitter, I believe. They said that in the Jewish community around the world, I think they said it was this many million of them, and they was like Kanye got double that just with his followers. He had like 30 million followers or something like that. So they were saying basically like he can't get blackballed. What you think about that?
I think it's kind of damn near impossible to blackball somebody at the status he is.
I don't think you can blackball Kanye.
Like the sneaker sales and as controversial as he is, that attracts people to him.
But now another reason why I wanted to know what you said, John, right? Because we've talked a lot, and there's no doubt about it. You mess with Kyrie Irving, right? And I know you say you don't feel all his views, but we've had topics where you like Kanye a little burnt out and this, but his views and like where everybody think he's going left, Kyrie does that too, but you show Kyrie love and really, I mean, today you show like you more like artists.
But I know what you said. But to me, Kanye, he's so extreme. Kanye is so extreme. Kyrie, he's a little bit more lower, timid type of dude. You ask him the question, he's going to tell you, and it's going to be like a left-handed one. But whatchamacallit, it's just like Kanye reaches for you to
and it's
to
the
get
way
it from
Kanye say shit.
and the way and his delivery. Now, I mean, with Kyrie, I mean, either you're going to believe it or not. But I don't know. I just think he's an interesting bull. I don't agree. Like you said, I don't agree with everything, but he thinks to the left.
Now, let me say this, though, Vito. What you just said, Kanye say stuff and you see it years later. I was just watching a documentary the other day, and the first person I thought about was when Kanye said slavery sounded like a choice. I was watching a documentary where it said that black people back in slave days, they would sign up and sign like 3-year contracts to work on boats for like the Spaniards and as their slaves for like 3 years just to get away from what they was doing or just to be a part of something. So, you know what I mean? I thought back, when I seen that, I instantly thought back when Kanye said, damn, he said that years ago and like people was knocking him for that. So I felt that, that was kind of funny to me.
Definitely.
Anything else on Ye? One last thing. I text y'all, right? And I know you say we can't blackball a guy like Kanye because of where he's at already, right?
Yep.
But I said, I text y'all and told y'all one of the most dangerous people in this world is a person with money that'll put somebody else on that nobody else likes out of spite. Now just look at it. And if we're talking blackball, realistically, Beans was blackballed. He gave Beans a check. Now he's running around because of the stuff with Diddy. He's running around with Mace. And so what I'm saying is it might be hard, pause, the blackballing, but I'm saying people like that are looked at as dangerous people. So the higher ups may, try to conspire to get him out of here. That's just my thoughts.
Because he has too much power and influence, and that's the only way.
And if they don't want you in the game, they don't want you in the game.
That type of power.
They don't want a dude that's gonna you putting somebody in the game we don't want in the game. That's just my thoughts on it. But how you feeling about Kanye? People, he got a lot going on. He's banned from social media. He just had an interview on Fox News, and he's dropping, I guess it would be knowledge to him or whatever. Like, keep it, what's your thoughts on it? Victor Wembanyama. He's the projected number 1 pick in the 2023 NBA draft out of France. Some people say he's 7'1", some people say he's 7'4". He was just over here playing recently. It's a lot of hype on him. We've had everybody from LeBron to KD saying he's the next face of the league. Keep it a what's your thoughts on Victor?
I like what I see from him. Me personally, if he was on my team, on offense, I would play him at the 5, and on defense, I would play him at the 3 and the 4.
Okay, what's your thoughts, John?
I think he's going to be a big impact if he can stay healthy.
Yeah.
People at that height make me, I don't know, they're a little weary to me, the injury prone. But if he can stay healthy, he's nice. He can do everything.
Okay. Shout out to this 1800. Vito got us in here drinking. This John is powerful.
Yes.
Hey, Vito, this is the 90th episode, by the way, fellas, and I may officially announce that I may be a conspiracy theorist.
You are.
Here's my thing. Where did he come from? No, where did he come from? Because for this kid to be that good, he didn't just get that good in 1 year. I didn't hear about him 2-3 years ago. Where did the kid come from?
The same way all the motherfuckers from Africa just go to another country and become popular.
When I seen his highlights, I'm like, damn, who the hell were they talking about? I looked at his highlights. The first thing I thought is I need a blood test. And I need it done on national television, on social media or something, because there's no way that kid is 7'4" moving like that, bro. There's no way. Look, we from Philly. How many? Is it something in our water?
I don't know.
Definitely.
It might be an experiment. It might be one of them experiment babies.
How is all these other places, not just overseas, but all these other cities, they got 6'11" dudes walk.
Think about it. If you think about the league, most of the big men are from overseas.
I understand
I
that.
seen him
But what
playing
I'm saying
Rudy Gobert
is,
one-on-one, and he was
Anthony
giving him
Davis,
work.
Anthony Davis and them are 6'11". You don't walk down the street and see 6'11" dudes in Philly.
You know.
Where are they at? What's going on in Philly? Are they experimenting with our water too? Like, what's going on? Like,
Oh yeah, you already know they put the fluoride in the water. So.
Listen, I need to see videos of this kid playing basketball every year because where did he? He's that good that I'm pretty sure you would have heard of him last year. Like in 2 years, or 3 years ago. Like, where did he come from? And he moved like a guard.
He did come out of nowhere.
Come on, man.
But he might have been trashed the year before.
Man, you don't get that. That dude is doing I seen him shooting fadeaway threes, bro. Come on, man.
Same thing happened to Darko Milicic. We ain't know about him till to the draft.
No, when you see video with Darko Milicic, niggas like, man, they better pick Melo. Like with this dude right here, I'm actually, because you see it was trending. This guy is so much, and we've had it the last couple years. It seemed like every year they say this guy's going to be the face of the league. But they just did a poll. And they said that if LeBron was coming out of high school right now with this kid would be the #1 pick.
Yeah.
Like, I need, man, it's some funny business going on, man.
Well, speaking of funny business, I need the NBA to do some funny business and make sure the Knicks get the #1 pick next year.
That mean they gotta lose.
Not necessarily, as long as they get in the lottery.
They gotta lose enough where they're top 3 eligible.
Negative, because it's been somebody with I forgot what draft it was. Somebody with the worst odds got the #1 pick. I forgot what team it was. And think about it, Cleveland got that shit like 3 out of 5 years.
I mean, since you speaking of the Knicks in the draft, are we headed for a horrible season towards tanking to get Victor Wembanyama?
Absolutely.
What you think?
Yeah, they're going to tank, man. That's fucked up.
I agree with that, too.
But do you think, like, with his type of play style, and you see Chet Holmgren, is that the new big man, new move that they doing? Because Chet Holmgren's what? He's like a 7-foot.
Where's he from? Is he from overseas? Where is all these?
He's from the United States.
And even
he's from Minneapolis.
Chet Holmgren is smooth, too, but he don't move like nobody moves.
No, listen.
Man.
As far as straight line speed, the ball ain't that fast from what I've seen.
Forget straight line.
Side to side moves
with the ball in your hand.
He definitely
doing all because Porzingis can dribble and all that, but he ain't fluid like that off the dribble like this kid is. Like, man, he's got to be some type of clone. I'm listening. That's my thoughts on Victor Wembanyama. I'm keeping it a C-note. The Redeem Team documentary. Did y'all see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we had a lot going on with the Redeem Team, right? One thing they talked about was the Dream Team came over because the college players, the world was gaining. They were sending their grown men, and the college players wasn't able to handle them. Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this. If we didn't have NBA players and we had all these one-and-done guys that have been coming out the last year, if they was representing Team USA, would we get any gold medals, you think?
Yeah.
In basketball, I'm talking about.
No.
Yeah.
No, because still need
why? Yeah, hold on, John.
Because prior to that loss, they was running down on shit. The only thing that got the foreign teams over is years of playing together, because they don't just play together in the Olympics; they play together as a team.
Right.
So them playing together, they built something. So they know each other moves. They know at this time this guy's going backdoor. Like the USA team is a bunch of guys just slap together and they go play. So
basically, you saying that if Jason Tatum was a rookie 2 years ago coming out of college, and Tatum and all of them guys in the 2020 draft would be beating grown men? That's what you saying? Because you emphasize on the grown men. Because you're only doing it every 4 years. But you emphasize on the grown men, but what you're not stating is the fact that overseas they go pro at 15 and 16. No, so but what I'm saying is not only are you sending these one and done kids over there to play against grown men, again, like you just said, you're sending them to play against teams that's been playing together
I think they
for
still
years.
maybe they might not get to go every year, but they still could beat some.
I think you need some veterans on the
What you
squad.
think, John?
Oh, yeah, you definitely need a vet.
I think you need some veterans. You can't do it with all young bulls or all college bulls. I think like you need that old school mentality on the squad. I don't know how many players, but you definitely need some type of
I think
presence.
if you take all the top college, because even when they was playing the college, they wasn't getting all the top college players. If you was get every single one of the top,
yeah,
I think they still could
all
win.
right, but let me ask you this though, right? But because we got guys like we know Pepe Sanchez since he went to Temple and all of that. So what I'm saying is these national teams from over there, they got guys that's hooping on those teams and there's key factors on those teams that's not even in the NBA. We've already agreed that they've taken the NBA over, these foreign guys. So you're mean to tell me that you think a lot of these one and done college kids, I don't believe that. I think these grown men would be torching those little kids over.
Think about it. All them guys ain't grown men because they go pro younger over there. And
yeah, but even with that though, even what you just said, I don't know if you said it verbatim, but the kids over here are smaller and smaller these days, Paul.
True.
So they would be getting abused over there.
Not necessarily, because if you think about it, even when we watched the Redeem team, most motherfuckers that was getting off on the USA was the guards. It wasn't the big men.
Not when they played Spain. Gasol brothers was torching them.
The Gasol brothers got theirs, but Nahara was the one.
Jordan. Their big men squad was dogging it.
That was Baby Shaq.
Baby Shaq, yeah.
But Nahara was the one getting busy, especially in the fourth quarter against the United States, and he was the backup because
even my man from Houston that played with Matt, whatever year, he was getting off on him too. I think he played for Argentina, Scola and all.
Think about
all the big men was getting.
But think about when they played Puerto Rico. Carlos Arroyo was killing them.
Yeah, he was. I'm glad you said that because shout out to the Redeem Team documentary. They put that up there. I forgot when he made LeBron fall like that.
He was killing them.
But listen, speaking of Arroyo, because he was a point guard, the Redeem Team, their point guards in 08, Jason Kidd, CP3, Darren Williams, ranked them that year. Who was the best point guard? And I will, disclaimer, let y'all know that was the year Chris Paul finished second behind Kobe in MVP votings. So I know you love Darren Williams and Jason Kidd. 08, who was the best point guard out of them
Chris
three?
Paul, Darren Williams, Jason Kidd, because Jason Kidd was older.
Okay, what you say, Jar?
Chris Paul, Jason Kidd, and then Williams.
Vito, shout out to you. I agree with you.
Jason Kidd was too old.
Yeah, not just that. His numbers was damn. Darren Williams, his numbers wasn't from like the 2 years before that. But I think that's the year Chris Paul officially became the best point guard in the league because. At one point in time, I think Darren Williams was better than him.
The only thing that put Chris Paul over the top to me is he got more assists and he was a better defender.
The only thing that put him over the top is he had 56 wins in the West with your guy Tyson Chandler and your guy David West.
And let me say this, though. Even though, like how you said, Chris Paul and Jason Kidd, but Darren Williams is one of my favorite point guards to ever play.
Okay. All right, so we see in the documentary, Kobe came over. He said he was tired of seeing them guys lose. Let me ask you a question. Kobe don't play in 08. Do we win the gold? Keep it a C-note.
I think we could have. It ain't no guarantee. Because they still they had, like, that championship game, it was close. And like I said, Spain's starting point guard was out.
Right.
So it could have went either way, with Kobe or without.
But when Spain gained the momentum, who brought them back? Who
Nahara.
Huh?
It was Nahara and it was Rudy Fernandez.
USA.
Spain it was D Wade and Kobe.
No, D Wade kept them afloat at the beginning.
No, go watch it. And in the fourth quarter, he hit 2 or 3 big shots.
No, he hit big shots in them quarters. But what I'm saying is, when Spain put the pressure on them, Cole definitely stepped up.
On the flip side, Cole did step up. But if you subtract Cole, that means Cole even though he the man, he take it away from somebody else. So if you subtract him, somebody else would have had to step up.
Okay, shout out to that. I agree with you though, John.
I said if you take Kobe out, I think Kobe elevated their game.
Yes, I agree with you. I agree with you. Shout out to that. But let's keep it a C note though, cause I love gloating when I can gloat. So I want to gloat a little bit. But what's your biggest takeaways from the Redeem Team joint? Like, is it anything that you take away? I'm gonna drop some gems on y'all.
I don't take away really nothing from it.
How they was beating the Americans with American style ball with the high pick and rolls and shit?
No.
That was cool, but they wasn't playing American style rules. They had when they lost in the tournament to qualify, they had to come back and Coach K had to show them.
Yeah.
They had to play their style with their rules that the United States wasn't used to.
But see, the disadvantage that I didn't like that the United States had is that these other countries, they had years of preparation for this, and they all played together. They knew exactly where they was going to be.
Yeah, the chemistry.
Yep, the chemistry was there, and I'm like, we had to do this.
Vito, let me just say this, Vito. I can't let you just spit that movie because LeBron, Wade, and Melo, whether they got the minutes or not, they know the play style because they played on that Bryant's team. So you're not going to tell me.
You heard what Melo said. Oh, I don't know what happened. I wasn't out there.
I know Melo wasn't out there, but we just said that Carlos Arroyo was like this to LeBron, so LeBron was out there.
No, LeBron, them niggas ain't get the
Any more takeaways for you, Vito?
Nah.
What's your takeaways, John? Do you got any takeaways from that?
No.
All right, so my first takeaway is when I watched that joint, I was like, damn, big up Kobe. You know what I mean? Kobe, I got to keep it a C note with y'all. I got to go back and reevaluate my top 10 list, all-time players. Kobe Bryant has definitely got to move up on my list. Listen, I don't want you to call me an Uber, try to get me to freestyling right now, because whatever you got us drinking, Vito, is hard. But talk to me next week. I will tell you this, right? Because I sat back and thought about it. I said, damn, after watching this documentary and then looking at Jordan, John, I said, damn, he's really on Jordan level. I said, we just had the conversation. If we did the draft, Jordan went one, who you take, and he's your second pick. Too. We all said Kobe. Kobe Bryant is the second greatest player ever in the NBA.
I agree.
Ever. That's the first thing I learned from that. Second of all, I learned that a lot of that stuff I've been telling y'all was actually true. LeBron and them, they teamed up because they had no heart. They're not killers or none of that. And you seen it there.
I don't agree. Wade was a killer.
How do you say that?
Wade was a killer.
What you was about to say?
I was about to say he teamed up because KG and them was beating up on them all the time.
But listen, Wade was a killer, right? But killers respect killers. And killers respect killers that kill more. So Wade let you know on that documentary, Manu ain't better than me. You can give me Cole, but you can, like Kobe was ahead of all of them guys, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm glad you said that, John, because after watching this documentary, and I've always said it to y'all, right? If you play basketball, you're LeBron James, D. Wade, you're Melo, you know just like us as fans, that 08 team from Boston that won the championship, they was old. Mm-hmm. They only had 1 or 2 years left, right? We can all agree, because it's out there and it's public knowledge, 08 is when those guys said, we're going to get together in 2010 and play, right? Mm-hmm. I think after watching the documentary, and this is no cap, call him Oouuber, by the way these guys reacted to Kobe, and when they put that there, because nothing ever made sense to me, Kobe Bryant is the reason why LeBron and them teamed up. It's not Boston. It was Kobe Bryant. Look at it. Just look at it. It never made sense.
I thought it was that Olympics because they were all there. You had Bosh,
they were all there, but the missing factor is who else was there. Kobe. Look at it, but look at the hard thing when I say, when Kobe told them the first play of the game, I'm going through Gasol chest. And they like, man, you tripping. You tripping. That's your teammate. That's your brother. You ain't going to do that. Their reaction when Kobe planted Gasol said that they had no heart. And when they said, they said it multiple times with the weightlifting thing, Kobe was different. Garnett and them wasn't there. They had just won a chip, but everybody knew they was getting old. And then the team, the triple three, except they came together after Kobe two-peated. He won. That year that they played in 08, he had just lost. Then he won back-to-back, right? Uh-huh. I've said this for years that it never made sense. Boston didn't knock Cleveland off there last time. Orlando did.
All right, so just to get this on tape, you are saying that
The
they
Big
teamed out,
Three
they
was
teamed out because they were
formulated
scared of Kobe.
Of Kobe.
They were
Look
scared of
at
Kobe.
it. Look at the last thing I want you to look at. They seen Kobe was different. They all said he was different. And I just said, who was torching him from Spain? It was Kobe's teammate. None of them could handle Gasol, bro. None of them.
We couldn't handle the guards
Look,
either.
I'm telling you, if you read between the lines, that big three was put together. And I give you one more gem. They always say Melo went to the Knicks and he was the original big three. Mm-hmm. Vito just said it. Name the other guys besides for Kobe Bryant that stepped up on that in that Olympics when it counted. Wade, he started that game off crazy. Melo. In the first game when Bosh on the documentary, he said we had enough scores. I had to figure out. Bosh was a major impact on that joint. Bryant took those guys to go against Kobe, Gasol. That's my thoughts. I'm keeping it.
I don't agree because at the end of the day, even with that being said, they still had to get out the East to even play Kobe, which they never wound up playing Kobe in the championship for one. And LeBron, even since the Cleveland days, he got a winning record against Kobe. So he didn't have to team up for them to beat Kobe.
Yes, but he might have a winning record, but we talking about what it count. Look up.
They never played each other in the playoffs.
I'm just
in the championship.
What I'm saying is, look up somebody's record. What's LeBron record versus Dwight Howard? He might have had a winning record, but when it came down to it, what I'm saying is it never made sense. Because you just heard the first thing John said, the Boston Big Three. But the Miami Big Three wasn't constructed after they lost to Boston. It was after they could. So
no, they did lose to Boston, and he went the next year. Remember, he had the triple-double in the last game, and they lost.
They
started turning that shit over. No, they lost to Boston that year.
Bro, 08, when they was at the Olympics, Kobe just lost to Garnett. The next 2 years, Kobe won it. His second year that he won it, that's when LeBron and them became free agents. I'm telling you, when you look at Gasol, Kobe, Meta, World Peace, them teams was, and even with the NBA, if we don't get Kobe out the way, then we can never move on to the future. That's why later on that year, 2011, they vetoed that Chris Paul trade. Come on, man. You got to read between the lines of all that, man. Yeah. This shit was about...
So what did you say what year he went to Miami?
He went to Miami after the 2010 season when Kobe won back-to-back chips.
He went to Miami in 2010.
Yeah, and Kobe, that was the year Kobe won back-to-back chips. He just played in 3 straight finals with Gasol, who was torching them over. Just look at
So why would he care about the West Coast, though, not about the East Coast? Because you said he went to 3 straight finals, but Boston, how many Boston went to?
Can we all admit, Boston went to 2 straight.
Exactly.
But can we all admit, though, when that team put together, if you're a young anybody, LeBron, Wade, and them, you know they're only going to be but so long because they old as shit. That team, it wasn't for Boston, bro. I'm telling you, man, that shit has always been a movie. And the last thing I will say that I learned about that is they've been trying to get a league to LeBron since 04. So when you look at it on the beginning of the documentary, after they lost and they got bronze, they kept saying, oh, the world is caught up to us. The world is caught up to us. No, they didn't. Because if T-Mac and them, all the real niggas played, we would have never had the 04 shit. So that was a save face for LeBron. But I'm telling everybody, go back and look at it. It all makes sense. Pierce wasn't over there in Beijing. Garnett wasn't over there in Beijing. Kobe Bryant was, and Kobe Bryant, look at them niggas do the whole joint. They was kids still, joking, playing at McDonald's. Kobe was a fucking grown man. They see that one-on-one, I cannot beat this guy by himself, and he got Gasol who's torching us over here,
think
bro.
about it. If they lost to Orlando, what makes you think they could beat anybody? That's why they had to team
Because
up.
what I'm saying is, if you're LeBron James, if you're Dwayne Wade and you're Bosh, put yourself in their shoes where they're the top guys, and you're looking at Boston. Everybody agree we're going to look at them like they getting old as shit. They ain't going to be a factor for too long, right? Them dudes is looking at Dwight Howard the same way I always look at him. Like, man, that nigga ain't going to get nothing. I'm telling you, bro, it was Kobe, man.
But what you not saying as far as Orlando, all them everybody on that start five averaged in at 20 points.
Yes, I've been telling you this for years, but what I'm saying is, Rashard Lewis, you even said it, Rashard Lewis was done. Turkoglu was done. The only guy that was not
averaged at least 18.
Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. The team was formulated in 08. They wasn't thinking about Dwight Howard in Orlando in 08. They just happened to beat them guys. The only person that made them niggas think like that is the guy that was there, bro. Once they see this guy is no joke.
You gotta win the East to even get to this guy, and they gotta win the West, and they never played each other.
What I'm saying is, as a competitor, y'all just said it. You're gonna look at it like Boston might be alright for this 2 years, but I know in a couple years, like I got a funny thing, because when I was in 7th grade, I always used to be like, when I'm in 8th grade, I'm going to be the best player in the school, and this is going to be my school, and this, that. That's how they looked at the East, bro. Garnett and them is only going to be here for 1 or 2 years. Dwight Howard and them is not a factor. They was not a factor in 08 when them niggas started putting the team together.
That's possible, but I don't see
What's your thoughts on it,
that.
people? My thoughts is the big three was not constructed for Boston. It was constructed once they seen that Kobe Bryant was somebody different. Is that no cap? Should you call me an Uber? Keep it a C note. NBA season almost here. Let's do real quick the top 5 power forwards coming into the season. Keep it a C note with us, John. Who you got?
Power forwards. I got number 5 Zion, number 4 AD,
okay,
number 3 Cat,
okay,
number 2 Durant, number 1 Giannis.
Okay, so you put in Cat as a power forward this year. I know he's going to power.
I know
forward.
he could probably go either or, but I figured with Gobert, like he's going to be primary.
No, he's going to be. I didn't put him. I was more so what Vito said, being as though
but see,
he hasn't played power forward yet. He's gonna play.
But see, no, I know he's going to play power forward, but throughout his career, he's played the center position as well. But I know, like going forward now with Gobert there, he's primarily going to be at that 4. Okay. Who you got, Vito?
Well, see, I kind of struggled to even get 5 power forwards.
Shout out to that, me too, Vito.
So with my 5 being biased, I'm going to have to put my man Randall at 5.
Okay.
Number 4, I got Zion. Number 3, I got AD. 2, I got KD. And number 1, I got Giannis.
All right.
Okay, my number 5. Because I also struggle. Shout out to that, Vito. Take a shot real quick, man. I ain't been seeing you drinking. Because I struggle, right? I'm going to go at number 5, young talent. I'm going to go Evan Mobley. I struggle between him and Jaren Jackson, but Evan Mobley a little bit more better defense, so that's why I went with him. At number 4, I got Pascal Siakam, man. I don't care what nobody say.
He's 4? I thought he was a 3.
Nah, he's a 4. Pascal Siakam do all the dirty work. He's not great at everything, but he's good at everything. So that's why he's my number 4. Number 3, I got AD. Number 2, I got Kevin Durant. Number 1, I got Giannis. What's your thoughts on it, people? Coming into the season, top 5 power forwards. Keep it a C note with us. Let's go centers, Vito. Who you got?
At number 5, I got Bam.
Okay.
I'm number 4. A lot of people ain't hip to this guy because he quiet, but he's a double-double machine. I got Vucevic.
Shout out to that.
Number 3, I got Cat.
Okay.
Now, number 2 and number 1, I've always had Embiid at number 1. But lately, on my way up here, I'm thinking like, if you break it down, Who's a better passer? Joker.
Yes.
Who's a better shooter? Joker.
Yeah.
Who's a better back to the basket? I say Embiid.
Embiid.
But I feel like Joker is the better player. Who I'd rather have, who's more dominant, Embiid. But I feel like Joker's the better player. So I'm going to go Embiid 2 and Joker 1.
Okay, Vito, what I would say to that is don't be a prisoner of the moment.
This ain't got nothing to do with the
And-
moment.
and
That's never my thing.
I'm not, and I don't mean just because of what's going on right now. What I'm saying is sometimes the coach plays a part in everything.
That's true.
And Embiid still hasn't had the right coach. If Embiid had the right coach, it would be no debate.
No, but see, I don't agree with that because Embiid is his biggest enemy. He is, like I said, he's the most dominant. He stops his
Why is he his biggest
because
enemy?
he settles for too many jump shots.
Why does he settle for too many
Because
jump
he wants to be a jump shooter too.
It's the system.
Because his coach lets him be a jump shooter.
But even if his coach lets
There's
him,
no
he don't have
but
to
regardless.
settle. He
You
settles.
But what I'm saying is, if you're in an offense where you're
Please,
popping
don't
to shoot, you see what I'm saying? That's the first thing.
Think
You're
about how
running
many
to-
shooters they got. He doesn't have to do that. He wants to.
He doesn't have to do it. But what I'm saying is, your coach is the team's biggest enemy. When your coach lets your team or players on your team do anything that they shouldn't do, they get the blame for that. Embiid hasn't had a coach. Mike Malone, he looks at Jokic and says, he can do this. He's better if I let him do this and that. Embiid ain't had that yet, bro. We give Doc Rivers a lot of credit. He ain't that. Brett Brown ain't that. If we do get that, I'm telling you, if we do get that, Embiid ain't had that nigga. Oh, you just pulled up for that 3-pointer instead of going in the paint because you just made 4 straight baskets. Come your dumb ass out. He don't got that. He need that.
But that's true. But where does the self-discipline come in it?
Yeah, I understand the self-discipline, but what I'm saying is the coach calls the plays. So if the coach don't call a play to put you on a perimeter, you're not shooting a jumper.
Okay, the coach calls the play push on the perimeter. That don't mean you have to shoot a jump shot. You could put
You
that shit
don't,
on.
but
It ain't
what
like
I'm
he can't
saying
dribble. He
is
can
the
put it on the floor.
coach, he's the most dominant player in the league. You even said it. The coach should be running no plays where he's on a perimeter. Some of it had to do because Ben Simmons
If
can't
you watch, most of his jump shots become from him trailing the offense and he is stopping.
I'm not
up.
mad at the trail in the offense thing. Everybody
That's
does
it, man.
that. I'm not mad at that. What I'm mad at is when you picking and popping, when they're giving you the ball 17 feet out and you're facing up and you're doing all this dumb shit and then you shooting a jump shot when the whole play should have been come down, pass it over here, kick it down in the post.
Well,
That's
we
it.
talked about when your biggest thing with Luka was making players better. Joker make players better.
Yes, because he's in an offense where he can do that.
Is Embiid. Embiid got the green light to do whatever he wants.
Bro,
Man.
what I'm saying is, before we get John West, right? You just said he's the most dominant player in the league. If you are a coach, are you running any plays for him in the perimeter or is any?
Yes, because he can
Yes.
shoot.
What you say?
I'm only running plays for Embiid in the perimeter. Inside, not on the perimeter.
No, he can shoot. He can shoot.
He can shoot, but
he
I
gonna
would.
stretch the
That
offense.
doesn't mean he has to shoot.
That's what I've been saying this whole time. But he can stretch the offense.
Nah.
He can put the ball on the floor. He can do everything. He settles for that shit.
If we have 4 other players on the floor that have a good chance of knocking down the 3, we could spread the floor.
That's true. But like I said, if he even gets the ball on the perimeter, that don't mean you have to shoot a perimeter
Listen,
shot. You can
look,
put the ball on the floor.
I will say this. Steve Kerr, a perimeter-oriented coach. I cannot see Steve Kerr having Joel Embiid and having him shooting 4 or 5 three-pointers again. I can't see that. His whole offense would switch and everything is down low. Embiid is Shaq, bro, with a jumper.
Nah,
You know what I mean? And the jumper is supposed to be the extra. Okay? Because I can blow by you. If you want to back up off me, then I'm going to shoot this little mid-range. It's not to be out there just launching
it don't matter. None of that shit matters because I don't give a fuck what play they run. If they run a play and I get the ball and I fake the pass and wait till the defense spreads out so I can take the ball in ISO, that's what the fuck he does. The play could be ran. He won't get the ball out. He'll hold the ball long enough to everybody get in their defense position. And he'll do some dumb shit. He'll jab 4 or 5 times, shoot a dumbass J, fall on the ground. Come on, man. He know what he's doing. He want to shoot them J's.
Okay. What you got, John?
All right, number 5, I got Rudy Gobert.
Okay.
Number 4, I got Bam.
Okay.
Number 3, I got Ayton.
Okay.
And number 2, I got Joker. And number 1, I got a healthy Embiid.
Okay. Shout out to that.
Yeah.
My number 5, I got DeAndre Ayton. Vito, take a shot. Shout out to you, Vito.
Come on, man. Why you keep trying to take me to take shots?
Take a shot. Shout out to you,
I had more
Vito.
than both of y'all.
Shout out to you, Vito, because last year I had Ayton in front of Bam and Adebayo. This year I got Bam Adebayo ahead by 1 spot. He's my number 4. My number 3, I got Cat. My number 2, I got the Joker. And my number 1, I got Embiid. You know what I mean? That's my top guy right now. Keep it a C note with his people right now coming into the season. Who's the best center in the league? Keep it a C note with us. Let us know. Am I right? If you're a coach, are you letting Embiid shoot jumpers? Keep it a C note. Let us know. Say it with your chest. Anything.
I got a question though for Vito. Is Draymond Green a top 10 power forward in the league?
Yeah. I struggled to get 5.
You think he is?
Yes, I struggled to get 5.
So of course he's top 10.
Yes, he's top 10.
That's the question. Well, but I do.
Hold. Ask you your own question. So it sounds like you don't believe he's top 10.
Oh, because to me, he's in that shady gray area at that maybe like at 10 if he did squeeze it.
Only thing besides the 5 I named, I think probably John Collins. And I don't see who else you could put.
Collins
and Siakam. And Siakam, since he went on my 5. That's 2 more. Sabonis. I like Sabonis a lot.
Sabonis.
That's 8.
Your guy Zion.
He was in my top 5.
Oh, he was in your.
Would you take Jaren Jackson over?
Jackson?
No. Yes.
No, because he pretty good shot blocker and he can shoot, but he don't lead like it. I had Randall at 5.
Yeah. And then all your 5, and then it's just I don't know.
I think he definitely top 10.
Maybe I'm just a little biased.
Because he brings more to the game. Motherfucker won defensive player of the year.
Top 10, bro. He definitely
Twice.
top 10. And he said with your chest?
No.
I got one to say on my chest. Rams ain't shit.
Okay.
Shout out to that. The Rams are not shit. I will take a drink to that. But we will be back, and I will have the last laugh when it's all said and done and the season is over. But shout out to you guys. Shout out to John. Shout out to the bird on his hat, man. You know what I mean? Because I was sitting up here arguing with Vito about the Eagles more than John was, and them boys 5-0. You know what I mean? I don't know, Vito.
I don't know either. I feel like their next game is their test.
Yes,
because Dallas defense looking good, and Cooper Rush. Numbers. I mean Cooper Rush.
Yeah, you just lied, Cooper Cup.
I fuck with Cooper Cup. I ain't care.
Now, if he got them winning, would you switch up and put Dak in?
No.
You would let the offense continue on with Cooper Rush?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Till he lose.
Listen to what I'm saying. Besides for Gallup, that team is the same team that played week 1,
but they're running more.
But
they looked horrible.
They're running more, though. It makes a difference.
And when is Dallas going to realize that Pollard is definitely the true number 1 running back?
That's
and
why they
he's
should
way
run
better.
Pollard.
He's way better than
and
Ezekiel
Elliott. The fullback for them.
Listen, I will say about the NFL, right? They say that the quarterback rating so far this season is the lowest it's ever been, right? Mm-hmm. But since doing the recap this year, I've noticed something like a lot of running backs these days don't get more than 19 carries a game. You see what I'm saying?
On committees.
So or it's a committee. But what I'm saying is, you got quarterbacks like Brady is damn near 50 and he's throwing the ball 50 times a game. You see what I'm saying? So to me, I think the league is totally changed. Cause shout out my guy Blake. Even we was talking about when is the last time a team won a Super Bowl where they was just like run heavy team or they was a top 5 run team? That doesn't really happen no more. Y'all might be the last team that was in the Super Bowl
Seattle.
recently. I said y'all was in there after Seattle recently. That's just like a running team, like really good at.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So
And y'all before us with Gurley, because I feel like y'all was a
The
run.
Browns
Yeah,
now is
the
more
girl.
like a running team now.
yeah, they're running teams, but what
It's
I'm
only
saying is they don't be
Probably
successful when it counts.
2 teams that run the ball, and that's us and the Titans. Now the Eagles are top running team, but it's only because the quarterback runs the ball all the time.
Yeah, and even with that, that was one of my reasons of looking at it. Because I'm like, when they give Miles Sanders the ball over 20-something carries, he's over a beam. But if you give him 15 to 19 carries, he might only get you 80 yards. But then I look at it, Dalvin Cook and all them guys, they get 19.
Shit, Derrick Henry
But-
got that in 30 yesterday.
Yeah, but even with that, I look at it like this, like, a lot of times them guys be getting hurt. Like, they not built to carry 30, 35 times a game. But my thing is, like I told him, I said, the league has changed. 9 times out of 10, when you go into the playoffs, the team that's the top rushing team, they always go down in a playoff game and the rushing goes out the window.
It does, especially if you start losing from the gate.
That's what I mean. They always go down and you got to abandon the run. And so lately, that trend has not worked. Even with the Eagles that year, y'all won the Super Bowl. Y'all had a good running game, but it wasn't based off of y'all running game. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's just my thoughts on it. The league is totally switched up, and it's crazy now. We got any other say it with your chest?
No.
Conspiracy corner. I conspiracy cornered out.
I feel like we did well. What you touched on with the experiment, and it was my conspiracy corner situation.
Experiment with who? Victor?
No, with the what's the name? Holmesburg, the prison.
Okay.
I got a little something because I was watching something with my little cousin, and we talked about this before, that movies sometimes prep us or even tell us the truth without even letting us know.
Right.
So I was watching Hocus Pocus 2.
Right.
And Hocus Pocus 2 about some witches or whatever needing young children or whatever to make them youthful.
Right.
And that's the same shit I've been going about, like, in Monsters Inc., same thing. They needed kids scream, whatever. And I think with all these kids that go missing, we get hundreds of thousands of kids or whatever that go missing every year out the United States. And that's just here.
Right.
And there's this new thing that they actually, you could look it up, and they'll tell you information about it, is adrenochrome. And they getting this, to me, out of kids.
Young black guys,
Yeah,
young black kids. I see.
And this is something that helps the elite stay youthful, and it's something that definitely keeps them youthful. Like this is not. I think there's some truth to what they're putting out on that. But
what's the movie? Was it Get Out? Was it some? That's kind of
Jupiter Ascending. That was another one where they were taking some liquor, some type of liquid to make them younger.
Since y'all went there, let me just ask y'all real quick, right? Because I've heard of the stories of the adrenochrome and all that, right? I was just recently watching a documentary because of you, John. I always hear you say the boulay, and this, that, and the third. So I wanted to do some research on them, and I seen who they were. And in the documentary, it said that these guys were, like, if you're from the city of Philadelphia, shout out to you. But I want y'all to go do some research, because slave times, it was some powerful black people in this city. Like, even Richard Allen, I know the projects and all that, and I know he was somebody, but to see that them guys, we had some powerful black men, and some of them, like, you know, they held weight where they swayed people, and the video was basically saying, once they seen these powerful black men, they started their own society, which was the Boulay. It was started in Philly and all of that. The whites basically took them in as gatekeepers. Let's push our agenda through them because they're powerful as well. And they want to be down with us so bad. Because at first with the boule, it was all about skin color. And unfortunately, us light-skinned brothers, we were more so where we wanted to be with the white people. So I watched that, and I wanted to shout you out on it, John. But we need to come back and touch on it a little bit more.
On the boule. Yeah,
definitely on the boule. But everybody need to do their homework, definitely on Philly and all of that. But, you know.
Definitely. Next week, I'm with it.
Yeah, we definitely gotta get that out the way because I've been seeing a lot of movies. But my question for y'all before we go is, because Kanye is crazy, or not he's not crazy. He's labeled as crazy. Can the higher ups put him in position like, you tell these people that it's brainwashed, you tell them the truth, and watch them laugh at you and call you crazy? Like, is that possible?
It is possible.
Where he is spitting real shit, him, Kyrie, and all of them, and because we just look at them because they're crazy,
we're going to think of them being crazy.
And not even believe it? Like, is that possible, Vito?
No, but I had this conversation at work that some people just wouldn't be ready. So even if we were talking about Area 51, that I was reading some articles, some plane crashed somewhere near there or whatever, which I don't believe. I believe that motherfucker was shot down. But anyway, Area 51, like, if they open that up and let people actually know, people wouldn't be ready and be able to digest, like, what is in there. Like, even if people want to hear the truth, they can't hear the truth.
Yeah. And I mean, because there's so many things that you've been raised to believe in. That's like religion. If a book, if something came out exposing everything, like, we made religion up, and so many people would be heartbroken because...
But they were saying in these days and times, like, as soft as these folks are, it'd be a lot of suicides and deaths and stuff like that when they just can't...
they program you to think
and
that.
They can't comprehend
you know
that
what
shit.
I mean? Because for every 1 or 2 strong people we got out here, we probably got about 3-4 weak people. So when they push it to you, this, suicide that, talk to us about this. In all actuality, it's pushing the person that's on that verge towards that way because it's showing them that. This is what's going on. This is exactly, I'm feeling the way they feeling. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So I be thinking that's part of the predictive programming. Shout out to John. Even Vito, because you guys got me on conspiracy mode. Like, I don't believe nothing. They killed Malcolm.
Oh, yeah.
They killed, that's how I be. Martin was a puppet. I be on my Professor X joint now, so shout out to that. We got anything else?
No.
Nah.
No, but I'm definitely going to touch on that Dr. King and when we talk about that boule next week, though.
We need to talk about the boule, people. We definitely appreciate y'all for tuning in, people. I'm intoxicated off of this joint. It's the 90th episode. Shout out to these guys' teams right here. I'm banned from talking about my team until we get above 500.
We can talk about the Bird Gang, though.
Yeah, y'all can talk about
them
Bird
Eagles.
Gang. Shout out to my lawyer. He might be the best lawyer ever. He said, Brown, wait a minute. I don't have no evidence where you actually bet John. Shout out to my lawyer. He might have got me out of something. We appreciate you. Listen, people, again, if you on YouTube, tuning in, please hit the sub button, hit the like button. Spotify, please do the same thing. Make sure you share it with somebody. Also on YouTube, hit the notification button. As always, I'm your boy, Brown.
Your boy, John.
And to the left of John, we got...
Vito Samuels in the building.
Call Vito Samuels, yo. Oouuber, please. He's glowing. Please, people, tell a friend to tell everybody. Keep the seat note. We'll holla at y'all. Shit. This is what I'm feeling like. Da, 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 da. Let me tell you what I'm feeling like. Da, 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 da.